Now let's talk about Captain Marvel a little bit. Now everybody had theories about Captain Marvel, especially with the recent film coming out. Everyone knew that there was going to be a showdown between her and Thanos and a confrontation. Now, a lot of people wrongly assumed that it was Captain Marvel that was going to be the savior of this film. That she is going to be the ultimate badass. She is going to be the one that literally takes on Thanos, undoes everything, and she is going to be the star of the film. Now, I can tell you this. Was she a badass in this movie? Yes. Did she look awesome doing all the things that she did? Absolutely. Was she the hero? Was she even that big? Did she play that big of a role? Meh. Maybe. A little bit. She had her moments. Now, don't get me wrong. When she did take on Thanos, she fights Thanos 2 different occasions. One at the beginning of the film, and once she makes a pretty big impact in one of the battles at the end of the film. Having said that, I can honestly say Captain Marvel did not defeat Thanos. She did not in any way save Earth from Thanos. She wasn't the savior of the film. She wasn't the hero that everybody thought she was going to be. That's not to take anything away from the character. My wife and I, my wife really loves Brie Larson in this role. She loves the Captain Marvel character. I like the Captain Marvel character as well. I love the last movie. I know a lot of people hated on that film for a lot of stupid reasons. The movie was great. She was great in it. It was a good movie. She was good in it. And Captain Marvel is a great character. It's a fun character. I like her. But she just didn't play the role in this film that everybody thought she did, or that everybody thought she would. It's not to say she wasn't awesome, because she was, but it was almost a swerve. I feel like we got bait and switched a little bit. But that's okay, because there was a lot of other really cool scenes. And she played her part perfectly. She had a new look in the film. At the beginning of the film, she's like OG classic Captain Marvel look from the last film. And then as the timeline progresses, we have a different look where she cuts her hair off a little shorter. I'm sure that's in reference to one of her many looks that she has in the comics, but overall, it was a welcome addition. It was cool seeing her do her thing. But yeah, not as much of an influence in the overall plot of the film as I thought she would be. Because Thanos does get the gauntlet again, and it looks like he's basically going to repeat his victory from the last film. And there's a point where it looks like he's not going to get it, and then he puts it on, and you're like, oh crap, what's going to happen now? He got the gauntlet again. But Captain Marvel does make the save. I just feel like, for those that have seen the scene and know how Captain Marvel kind of swoops in and does her thing, I feel like that could have been a lot of other characters that did the same thing. I feel like Thor was pulling his weight, so to speak, no pun intended. Those of you that seen the film, you know why that's funny, because he's heavy now. Thor basically gets a beer gut and dreadlocks because he's depressed and doesn't want to... He gets really down by not being able to... save everybody. So that was really funny how they essentially had this hunk of a man that they keep talking about in the last film, specifically how he's a real man compared to everyone else. He's a god in every sense of the way, except in this film he looks like he's a guy that just drinks beer and watches too much NASCAR. He looks like the Big Lebowski, and then Tony Stark, of course, even calls him that in the film. But by the end, he gets his stuff together. He's good. He's good by the end of the film. So I feel like he could have played the role of what Captain Marvel brought to the table in some regards. And Doctor Strange was doing his thing. There was a lot of fighting going on there with his powers, and Spider-Man was doing his thing. So Captain Marvel, I feel like maybe got overshadowed a little bit just because there was so much going on in this battle and just in the film. But that's what happens when you mash up this many epic characters and this much power in one film. So when she's in her own standalone film that takes place in the 90s, where there's not a lot going on, she's a lot more impressive on her own. When she's in a movie with, 20 other Avengers or something like that, I feel like she got lost in the shuffle a little bit.